Once upon a time, a patient who needed a heart transplant suddenly received a phone call from his surgeon. "You are in luck. We have two matching donors, a 20-year-old athlete and an 80-year-old lawyer. Which heart do you want?" The patient answered, "Give me the lawyer's heart." "Are you sure?" the surgeon asked in surprise. And the guy responded, "Yeah, I'd rather have the one that hasn't been used." I know there's a few lawyers here in the audience, so I'm sorry. Friends, I understand that lawyers sometimes get a bad reputation for being unkind, unintentional, greedy, or about the objective of getting the best mutual outcome. However, that is not true about lawyers only. We are all guilty of that in one way or another when we prioritize the wrong thing. When doing so, something we should do falls to the side, and we embrace something that is beneficial or seems that way in the moment. When you and I don't prioritize the right thing, something valuable in our lives or what the Lord may be calling us to do is not fulfilled, and then a consequence is paid. Usually, the consequence is received by someone we love or something the Lord is calling us to care for. The readings today embrace one distinct theme: belonging. Friends, we belong to the Lord, and the Lord demonstrates that in the way he relates to us. Jesus intentionally reminds us that the people God the Father has given him are his priority. Therefore, Jesus acted that way in his own thoughts, words, deeds, and interactions. Notice how he didn't put things above people, nor the praise and attention of others above the Father. Jesus acted in right order, and he is calling you and me to do the same. How does that look like? Friends, I'd like to present you with the precise order in which the Lord is calling us to be more intentional in ordering our lives. For the average person, it follows in this way: God first, then spouse, then children immediately after, and then everything else. To repeat: God, then spouse, then kids, and everything else. Notice how I did not include parents for the average person above the age of 18, for instance. Notice how I did not include your career. Notice how I did not include your hobbies. There is nothing more important than God. That's why he is first. We are called to obey him always, to listen to his commands, to keep in communication with him, and to serve him according to the way that God himself directs us. We go to Mass every Sunday, and we get to know the one who loves us. This does not include, however, the ways in which we serve at church, even if Father Houston asked you for a favor, because that will be in the everything else category, because it is an opportunity to serve, but not our priority, and definitely not above wife, husband, kids, or any other primary vocation that the Lord is calling us to serve. After God comes our primary vocation, or the way in which the Lord is calling us to serve in the world. If you are married, there is nothing more important than tending to your spouse, strengthening the bonds of trust and communication that can allow for a more stable family. It is the way that children learn what is true love and can embrace the fact that nothing gets in the way of love. And together, they are called to take care of their children. Subsequently, any task that does not consider that order must be assessed and possibly eliminated. Now, some of us may say, "Well, Father, what if I don't have a spouse, or what if I don't have any kids?" I would then suggest, based on that order, Eliminate what you do not have on that list, but God must be first. Even if it's God first and then kids, or God and then spouse. What is in the everything else category is nothing more than an opportunity to serve and not necessarily what God has given us to guide. For instance, friends, in my own priesthood, the proper order is God first, then my priesthood, vocation, and everything else. Meaning, if I said that I was going to, let's say, skip the 9 a.m. Mass today to go and have breakfast with my mother on Mother's Day, guess what? I am not doing what the Lord is calling me to do. Now, this is not to say that eating breakfast with my mommy is a bad thing, but that is not how the Lord is calling me to use my gifts and talents. Maybe when everything that I need to do in the parish is done, then I can pursue time with my family, which is in the everything else category. Allow me to give some more examples. If we are married and miss our child's inauguration as President of the United States of America because we want to take our parents to the grocery store, we are in error. If we have children and desire to plan for our future retirement, while kids in the moment have nothing to eat, we are in error. If we seek to plan multiple fun days at home with a child and never seek to plan a fun day with our spouse to get to know them better, we are in error. If we are serving here in the church, whereas our husband or wife is sick in bed, we are in error. If we value our friends and choose time with them over our immediate family, we are in error. Friends, the examples are manifold. However, the task is singular. We take accountability for our own actions and ask God to purify our desires. Brothers and sisters, possibly the reason why we fail to act with proper priorities in the correct order is because of fear. There's fear of not being liked, fear because of our insecurities. We doubt what we are able to do. There's fear of not being good enough. There's fear of failing. Fear, friends, does not come from God. It is a tactic of the devil to take us away from what we are being called to do. The Lord gave us the task, meaning if all that we do is being present to that particular task, that is good enough for the Lord. Therefore, it must be good enough for you and me. Too often we don't know and or appreciate who we are. Who are we? We are beloved children of the Lord our God. Therefore, we are secure. We are protected. We are empowered. We are agents of good. Therefore, we must do what we are created to do, to demonstrate the love of the Lord and the love of the Lord only. Doing so bears fruit, just as we heard in the first reading from the Acts of the Apostles. Being rooted in the Lord brings joy, even when the world wants to kill you. Today, and every day of our lives, brothers and sisters, examine yourself. Ask yourself the following: what am I making a priority today? Am I letting my desires get in the way of what I need to do? Today, unlike the greedy in society who do not know their own worth, we remember that we are disciples of the living God. May our actions demonstrate what we prioritize. Cooperate with the Lord, who gives us great gifts. We do so embracing the order of importance, knowing that He calls you and me to serve in ways that are needed for His own glory and not our own. There's absolutely nothing on this earth that will celebrate us more than God Himself, because His glory invites you and me to remain his own.